paper from a YouTube show called Have a Beer, Guess the Year. Nick looks like he's, Ian looks like he's setting things up, but Nick, come on down. Where are you? Now, for people that want to play along, so I guess, Nick, do you want to explain the premise of Have a Beer, Guess the Year? Great to see.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for coming. Big hand to Luke for putting this on. Such a great bloke. So good. And yeah, basically it started as Ian and I just want to get together, have a beer with a few mates. And what happens is he gives me a series of clues from a certain year, and then I have to guess that year. Yes, it's very haphazard. We go on weird tangents. We talk about beers at the start. That's about it. But Ian's going to talk about the technical requirements. Apparently you got some kind of voucher there that you can, the QR code.
Oh yeah, thanks for teeing me up to be the person who goes through technical requirements.
Yeah, now the fucking nerd.
Before you go, I'm going to let you guys talk, but I have the QR codes, so once again, explain to them, I will hand them out.
Hey, look, this is a YouTube sensation. It's the last show of the year. This is the 34th consecutive show of Have a Beer Guess the Year, the longest running, least watched show on YouTube. Give us a round of applause. Come on. Let's get some energy here because, look, we put in a hard slog here. We actually have lots of Have a Beer Guess the Year fans here. Give us a cheer if you've seen the show before. That was surprising. I've seen the numbers. People are lying. Thank you for lying. Please do come and sit down at the front. We do not pick on anybody, just each other. There are a couple of QR codes going around the room. The big aspect of How Big Guess the Year is the YouTube chat. We had 5 people waiting before we started the show. They jump into the chat room. You too can log on, just use the QR code or search Have a Beer Guess the Year on YouTube, and you can join in the chat there. The other thing is we all want you to play along, but obviously, don't shout out the year. We normally do this in our separate bedrooms. We don't live in the same house. It's not,
but we used to live in bunk beds until Luke separated us. Difficult situation.
Yeah, there was a ale of the time intervention.
Yes. But yes. No Googling, all right? If we see anyone Googling, no beer, right? No beer, you have to drink, I don't know.
You can, yeah.
You have to drink Carlton Cold. Yes, yeah. Actually, Carlton Cold is all right. I don't know.
Maybe drinking
a bad one.
Yeah.
Equal beer.
Yeah, don't Google. Probably use hashtags. It's not very functional anymore.
Yeah. Use that.
Probably use that. Use it with like a cranking wheel on your phone or something. Yeah, we basically are going to go through. I'm going to hit you with some events, facts, things that happened in a particular year. And by the end of the episode, Nick Capper here is going to have a guess of the year. But we want you to play along too. So there's going to be a point where I'm going to ask you to lock in your guess as well. You can do that digitally using the QR code that Luke has was waving around over there. So Luke's going to have the QR code. You just have to, it'll just prompt you to put in the room name, which is the acronym for this show, Have a Beer Guess the Year. The first letters of that.
Ian, they've had like 2 beers. They just come from work. This is too many instructions, mate. Let's just get into it, all right? Let's just get into it. Guys, first of all, though, what's everyone drinking? Anyone want to put their hand up? I'm drinking a Future Mountain Strawberry Ice. It is absolutely gorgeous. What are you having, Ian? Yeah?
Carlton Dry.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious. Yeah, hopefully everybody, it's sounding good on YouTube. Kappa, no sound problems here.
Okay, people, are you ready to have a beer? Guess the year.
Yeah, come on, give it a bit more than that. We're not on the golf course. Let's give it.
And to be honest, I'm a bit nervous about this one. Usually I don't give a fuck. We actually have an audience this time, and it is scaring the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's scaring me because normally if we have a bad episode, you just shut down the computer, you just close the lid on the laptop and that's the end of it. We've got to make out there's no exit this way.
I know, exactly. We've got to face these people afterwards. This is terrible. Okay, all right. So what's the first clue, Ian? Hit me up.
The first clue, Kappa, for the final Have a Beer Guess the Year of 2020 is the Sidney Myer Music Bowl was officially opened.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is
I don't think it when bowls were invented.
Is it named? Who's Sidney Myer? Who's he?
He's part of the. Have you heard of there's a little shop called Myer.
Oh, okay.
I think it's my store. It could be yours too, but
so is he an entrepreneur kind of guy?
Yeah, they're like a dynasty of shopkeepers.
Okay, and what? So Myers created music venues.
Yeah, he also he created the Sidney Myer Music Bowl. He created the shop Myer and also created the city of Sydney.
Okay, all right. Okay, for those who don't know, Ian's jokes are.
100%. Crown Prince of Japan. He, the first time ever, the Crown Prince of Japan married a commoner.
Oh, wow.
Now, I watched footage of this. I don't want to give away, but there is footage of this event, and they're on a horse and cart being ceremoniously wheeled through the city, and someone just runs up and throws a stone at their head.
What? But he's doing the right thing. He's marrying a commoner. Maybe that's the way commoners celebrate over there. Give him the rocks. We can't afford flowers. Let's throw the rocks. Anyway, sorry. All right.
The Dalai Lama in this year fled from Tibet to India.
Okay. All right. I'm unsure.
It seems unlikely that the Dalai Lama would go on a gap year. To find himself.
You never know. You got to have a break sometime. Uni sucks, man. You got to try and put it off as much as possible.
If anyone's unsure of the concept of this show so far, there's more of this. In
fact, it gets worse.
It does. I'll liven it up with the next clue. The M1 motorway was opened officially going from London to Birmingham.
All right. Okay, if you told me M1 facts about Australia, then I would know. I'm a huge fan of the M1 over here, right? But a British M1. No, sorry.
Golden age of the motorway.
Golden age.
People in Britain, the service station servos, you people call them, you monsters. The service station.
Because it deserves
gratitude. Well, in the golden age of motorways, people used to get their whole family in a car, and their day out was to drive on the motorway and have their lunch at a service station and then drive home.
Oh man, I'm so glad I'm in the 21st century.
Isn't that
amazing? Imagine now doing that. Imagine getting out of a time machine and go off to the servo, and then you drink a Monster energy drink and a Chico roll, and you go, "Oh, this sucks."
I grew up in an industrial town in the north of England. I imagine that there's still people who do that for a day out. So that definitely constitutes.
Hello, come on, son. Let's go down and get ourselves a pie and a Monster.
Here's
Pie and a Monster. That's not the first time I said that. Anyway, all right, let's get going.
Ruth Handler, she had concocted the hit toy, which became a sensation in this year as it was released, called the Barbie Doll.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now, the Barbie Doll was named after her daughter. Her daughter was called Barbara, and she made this doll and called it Barbie.
Okay.
And her son was quite upset that Mum had made this doll for the daughter. And her son said, I want a doll too. And so she made him one. And his name was Kenneth. Ken and Barbie.
Yeah, but
brother and sister.
Yeah, that is a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, when you find out that, it's just like stroking the cat the wrong way.
Imagine springing that on your kids. Oh, we've created the wedding playhouse. What you've always wanted. Also, back in these times, I remember when Ken came out, no boys really wanted to play with Ken. You know what I mean? He wasn't like the G.I. Joe type.
Mm.
Ken was chill out, kind of, wear clothes like this kind of type. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But also, you'd never buy Ken on his own.
Yeah, that's true.
Without Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if Ken came with a bazooka or like a ninja costume, he would have went straight out of the shops. Like it would have been awesome. Yeah.
All right, so the Grammy Awards were started in this year. The Grammy Music Awards.
Ah, okay.
And also the Guggenheim Museum was completed in this year.
Okay.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
So what? Oh yeah, Frank Lloyd Wright. Man, that guy was crazy. If you guys want to listen to a crazy podcast, listen to the episode of the Doll. Yeah, Ale of the Time, great podcast. But if you want to break from beers, and there's a Doll episode about Frank Lloyd Wright, and that guy was crazy. He started his own architecture cult, him and his wife, and they would have weird orgies. Also, one of his second wife died when one of his gardeners went insane and set the house on fire and then jumped through the window. And I think they killed 2 of his children.
Well, did he start the fire and jump in the window while it was on
The
fire?
guy set the fire and then he jumped out.
I jumped out.
Oh, he set the fire and then he jumped back in the window.
Yeah. So I was thinking, bloody isn't it?
But yeah, it is a crazy. I never knew how crazy that guy's life is, and I was like, the struggle you got to go through to design some cool houses.
And a museum.
Yeah.
Xerox launches the first ever copier.
Okay.
That would have been a revelation,
Wow.
wouldn't it?
Imagine that on the news. The first copier ever made.
I wonder what the first thing they copied was. Like how mundane.
Oh man, how exciting! But when you were a kid, though, like I'm 38, how cool was it when you went to your dad's office and he let you use the photocopier? Fuck that rule. That was so good.
As I
explained,
explained,
you would come out and you're like, whoa, my hand. You know, you drew a drawing, it would come out with that drawing. You never knew what to do, but it was so cool.
I can't believe you pretend that you're a man from the rural countryside, dragged up, and your dad's got an office with a photocopier.
Well, he made
Humble brags.
he had to manage the biggest cotton farm in the southern hemisphere. You can't do that without a photocopier. You know, you got to photocopy a lot.
Can I just let people who haven't been watching How to Be a Guest Year, Kappa presents himself as a very humble, a very modest man, and now he's left it to the last episode to start bragging about how his dad's got the biggest cotton farm in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, well, you know,
And the photocopier.
I can't let this shirt down. You know what I mean? No, it's made of nylon. Anyway, let's keep going. Yeah.
All right. So the USSR Luna 2 crashed into the moon. And when I read this in the extensive research I did, the Luna 2, it said Luna 2 crashed into the surface of the moon. The craft wasn't retrieved. It's like, yeah. Like, we're kind of, they're not calling the RACB to get that back on it. It's like quite expensive.
Has anyone? Yeah, they just call up other countries. Is anyone going past the moon? We're just wondering if we got a crash there. Is anyone without saying the year? Has anyone got any idea yet of what it could be? Yeah, we got a few.
Got a bit of
Got a few. Yeah. Any M1 nuts that might have, any Sydney My Music nuts that might have. Yep. Okay. Man, they say capitalism is bad, but if they put on a good music venue, like who cares? You know?
Yeah. Philanthropy.
Yeah.
Okay, this might spin you out a bit. Is that the Bell 101 becomes the first commercially available computer modem.
All right. Wow, this is crazy. Because the M1 got built. Sydney My Music Bowl, a modem. How big was this modem?
The modem's the reason they had to build the Sydney My
Somebody
Music Bowl.
live in this modem.
Well, also the Etch-a-Sketch as well. So,
Okay, so the Etch-a-Sketch and the modem. Far out. What a time! What a year for technology.
And also Texas Instruments. They invented the first ever solid integrated circuit, which became known as the microchip.
Oh, what?
And the modem and the microchip.
Texas Instruments.
And the photocopier. Yeah, you remember you used to buy calculators with Texas Instruments on?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't
You
get
remember in your dad's office?
Man, I think, I don't know. He didn't have a calculator. He wasn't a nutcase. Wow. So So what? Made in Texas. The microchip was made in Texas.
Yeah, well, there's a company called Texas Instruments.
Man, that is amazing.
I believe
That was the Boston Dynamics of shit inventions. No, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Bonanza, the TV show, aired on the NBC, becoming the first TV show weekly series in colour.
Ah, wow.
And you could stream it on your modem.
Okay, so what? Colour TV, a modem. This is the Etch-a-Sketch. This is killing me. Oh yeah, microchip. I'm gonna need more, man. I'm gonna need more.
Yeah, this will get you the St. Lawrence Seaway. Is anyone familiar with the St. Lawrence Seaway? No. It's one of the most.
Looks like got a bunch of squares here.
It's one of the most influential seaways in the world. It runs in. No, I'm not going to explain it.
What is First of all, Ian, you may want to explain to people like me as well. What is a Seaway?
Through the water.
Yeah, but like that's just the ocean.
No, this is like a built, manufactured, industrial carved way, which utilizes nature where it's got the natural passageway, but where nature isn't helping you out, they've carved a way basically from the northeast of Canada right through to America. So you can sail like to Detroit.
Oh wow! Oh, that sounds pretty cool. I'm back on board.
And it's St. Lawrence, and St. Lawrence is the patron saint of comedians. You know?
No.
Yeah, so it's patron saint of comedians and sex workers.
To be honest, comedians and sex workers.
Yeah, but seriously, I'll let anyone Google that. Google that one fact. True.
The sea industry. Wow. They only know two forms of entertainment: comedy and sex, and sailing.
Do you know when this shows the lack of awareness I have? Is that when I was researching this, I saved that clue. I thought that's going to take the roof off. That's going to take the roof off this room. They're going to get so excited by St. Lawrence Seaway. Yeah. Cyprus became independent in this year.
Okay, Cyprus.
Independent from Britain.
Okay. Don't know what Cyprus is. I have no idea. I remember my art teacher talking about it once, like it was some kind of wonderland, some kind of beautiful country that was amazing, but I have no idea where it is.
There's still a bit of tension. It's Greece and Turkey, and yeah.
Oh yeah, it is around.
Yeah, United Nations, I think, is still based there.
Okay,
Just
all right.
probably splitting up fights between British holidaymakers, more than likely. Darwin.
Okay, now we're talking.
Is given city status in this year.
That could have been last year. I'm surprised it got city status.
Yeah, there's certain rules that you have to have, doesn't it, to comply to be a city. Like you have to have a cathedral, you have to have a certain population, you have to have a museum.
You got to have.
You got your James Backer casino.
Yeah. You got to have at least 8 KFCs. Like at least 8. Because Bendigo's got 5. And that's
Really?
close. Yeah, that's close. Bendigo's got 5 KFCs. What a wonderland. What a mecca.
How do you know that?
Because once I did a show there and I was like, oh my God, I love Bendigo so much because you got 4 KFCs here. And they said, no, we actually have 5, 6 if you include this outer suburb. And I was like, wow, I'm moving here.
Well, I suppose there's a kernel of truth in that. So,
Oh, yes. That was a deep dive, Ian. That was a really deep dive. And no one has given it to you. But I was hoping you guys would give him a pity laugh. Okay?
just
Help
not
the poor guy out.
Just not smart enough. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Voting
Now,
rights.
I can't get you out of this one. Once you insult the crowd, all right.
Voting rights for women. They had a referendum to see whether women in this year in Switzerland should be given the vote, and they voted against giving women the vote in this year. I'll tell you an interesting thing about that referendum. Only men could vote in that referendum.
That is, we had some great times upon us. Yeah. Once again, Ian, that could have been 1990. knowing our backwards world. It's so terrible.
The-
But I'm guessing that is the most unfair thing you could just like. All right, we'll give you guys a chance. However, you can't vote just yet. All right, we got to decide. Nah, sorry. It's so bad.
It is so bad, isn't it? Because you imagine like being like, what's going on?
It's
There's
like a bunch
referendum.
of kids are involved. Like that's
Yeah.
what a kid would do. We're like, oh, all right, we're gonna have a vote. No, you're not allowed to play. I've heard that a while. I've heard that myself. Anyway, enough about my childhood. Let's get on to the next one. Oh, it's got really deep now, hasn't it? It's got really awkward. Ian, do one of these shit jokes.
For you, the Marx Brothers make their last ever TV appearance.
Right. They did kind of slapstick type comedy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they were excellent.
Yeah. Well, just because I do comedy doesn't mean I'm a historian on it. Right?
Sorry, I'm looking at it with such
Happy
disdain because I'm like, these Marx, they're your people. You're a communist and a comedian.
Yeah, I only know like Adam Sandler and Tom and Jerry. You know, two very odd references there.
Here's one for all the beer fans out there. In this year, the state of Oklahoma ends prohibition.
Oh, whoa. Wow. What the? So what, the microchip, that modem, referendum, prohibition, man, this could be, I don't know what this is.
Bill Gates was putting microchips in a beer.
So
that's what's happening. The UK started using postcodes for the very first time, and they also had the telephone boxes. It was the first year that you could direct dial somebody if you knew their number. Previously, you would just pick up the phone and it would say operator, and you'd tell them who you wanted to speak to.
Really?
So that's the first
But you
year
have
that
to say their date of birth as well.
It's not a clairvoyant service.
Yes.
It's,
So you have to give their address, date of birth.
yeah, you could say, could I speak to Mr. Williams in wherever?
Oh, wow.
You
That
know,
is amazing.
And then say, which Mr. Williams? And you say, the one in the cotton farm with
Yeah.
the photocopier in the back room.
Yeah. Remember you used to call your mates when you were drunk and go, hey, how you going? And just talk. Now you don't do that. You just send them a text and then regret it the next day. We used to you have to pick up the phone at midnight in case it was an emergency. And it was just your mate going, yeah, mate, come out to the Royal, it's going off. It's really good. And there'd be a big line. Oh, it was a crazy time. To be honest, I prefer a text message. Yeah.
We've talked about this before, but if you could just not talk about, having friends when you're younger.
Yeah.
But I did have some great days out of the servo. So Asterix was first published.
Oh, wow. Okay, this was from Belgium. Asterix, right?
Mm.
Yeah, okay. I remember watching the movie with Gerard Depardieu because he's in everything with a French accent, and I remember loving it. He's in everything. He's in every French movie.
He is. What's the one?
I
The
think I swear he's a prop in the ones that he's not mentioned.
the Count of Monte Cristo is like sticking your head in a vice for 3 weeks. It's awful.
Yeah,
It's so long. But,
except for the bit where they saw the beam, where the guy tries to commit suicide and they saw the beam. Oh no, that's Man in the Iron Mask. Sorry. They've all got swords in them and accents.
Swords and
Yeah,
accents.
and swords and accents. That's what they should call them. Zorro, Asterix, the Count of Monte Cristo, the Man in the Iron Mask. It's all swords and accents. Anyone else got a swords and accent? The Scarlet Pimpernel? Princess Bride? Yeah, that's got a few accents.
Braveheart.
Yeah, different type of sword. Not really a fancy sword. It's more like, hey, look, I'm wearing no undies and I'll cut your head off. You know what I mean? The best bit.
Is that your Tinder profile?
Yeah, I wear no undies and I'll cut your head. I remember seeing Braveheart and watched it with my uncle, and there's a bit where they moon, where the Scots moon the guys, and then one gets a spear in the bum, and my uncle kept rewinding it and laughing. And I think that's the start of my comedy career. Like, that was the best thing I've ever seen. I'll always remember it.
Well, all right. I'm going to hit you with a few more
Okay,
things, but
okay,
in the room,
we haven't got much time. do we?
No, I'm going to sort you out with the tech in a second while Kappa ponders. We'll start
Okay.
locking it in your mind if you can narrow it down to a particular year. We do have a prize for somebody. Well, I shouldn't have said that. No, the prize is terrible. Do not Google. It's so you say, oh, there's a prize.
Prize. All right.
So, couple more clues.
Okay.
Is Jimi Hendrix plays his first ever gig.
Ooh, was this in America or Paris?
I didn't
He
know.
started out in America, but then he went to Paris, and that's where he got his fame. Ah, really?
Okay, who's doing the clues here?
Yeah, all right, I'm going to Google it. So
So-
more swords and accents.
But I can tell you that I don't know where the gig took place, but I can tell you that Jimi Hendrix the following day was out of the band because the band fired him because he was too risque.
What? I don't get this one. Is Risque one of his songs?
no,
I thought that was one of your jokes.
risque.
I thought, what kind of pun is this?
Risque is a loose kind of behaviour.
Oh, yeah,
It's,
I know
kind of
that, but I was waiting
provocative.
for a funny Ian pun.
No,
Instead, it was just a fact.
yeah, it's not all
Which
jokes.
was
here.
just as funny.
All right.
Oh.
I think we're getting pretty close to. I know people on YouTube are locking in the votes as well. I'll tell you that the Twilight Zone first aired on CBS in this year, and the film, the epic Ben-Hur, was
Oh, wow.
out in this year as well. So, and Alaska is admitted into the US in this year. Alaska was bought from Russia for about $300,000 US.
Really?
Yeah, they just bought. Because Russia were like, that's probably closer to you, but could you give us a bit of money to and they
That is so
$300,000 they bought it for.
Well, I regret that because hasn't Alaska got a lot of like cool stuff like oil and
Penguins, yeah.
penguins and yeah,
Big,
penguins, America's biggest export.
right.
Okay, all right. So
Kappa, I'm going to get the tech going on so people can
Okay.
put in their guesses.
Okay.
If you could just we should have had some interlude music, but you're just going to have to sing.
ding 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 ding. I'm trying to think and sing. I can't do it. I'll put a song on.
Kappa, tell us about what you think it is. What year?
Well, this is very hard. This could be because there's always the color television thing that comes in, and that really annoys me because I thought color TV was probably around 40s, 50s, or 60s. So it's around 30 years. So that really cuts it down. So Ben-Hur was real big, but I remember it being kind of shitty color, like just kind of graduating into color. You know, it was. I would have rather black and white, to be honest. But then the microchip thing is because modems, they were used by the army originally. Like the internet was developed by the army, but that wasn't until like the 80s or the 70s or some shit. And then we got the Etch-a-Sketch. This is a huge deal. Far out.
It's not often you get to see and the ponderance of a great mind.
Yeah.
Just working.
The referendum thing, that could have happened any year in our sexist world, so that doesn't divide anything down. All right. Fuck, I'm going to be way off again. I know it. I know, and you guys are going to laugh at me. Prohibition in Oklahoma, that also really annoys me. I've got a feeling. Far out. You guys are going to laugh. I
Look, it
reckon,
would be a first for tonight if
I
you
reckon-
just gave us a bit of laughter. That would be.
I reckon it's going to be, this is just a purely on gut feeling. 1956.
Locking it in?
Yeah.
1956 is Kappa's guess. So have a beer guess here, the final one. of the year? Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. The answer, the year where all of these things happened, was 1959.
Oh, yes, I was so close.
So
I can't believe it. And that was gut feeling, honestly. I could have said 1940 or 1965.
we did get quite a few people. Kel got 1959.
Yes, Cal, give it up for Cal. Yay.
Craig P, 1958. Jared got 63. Kel, 58. We got Stuart D with 59 as well. Mickey with 59. Justine with 1960. Man, they're all smarter than you.
Yeah.
So, and then people in the room as well, I'm going to have a look to see what your answers were as well, if you managed to get the answer correct. And if we'll work out the times as well, but we do have a prize for those people. Kappa, we have a little treat here, and I don't know what it is, but it's a little treat. We're running right on time, so we've done very well here. We've got Justine and Jared over here I've been watching Have a Be a Guest of the Year since the beginning, and it's a bit creepy, but they brought along 2 bags, and I honestly do not know what's in them.
No. I really hope it's 4X gold. Otherwise, I'll be angry. But this is great. Oh, thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much.
The strawberry gum saison, which I believe might have been a controversial beer in a Cohen thing. I do not. I remember it well.
Yeah.
Fondly, probably the wrong word. Well, it's it. So thank you so much. If anybody would like to share this with me.
Oh man, is this like the salt and vinegar one I had? Killed me.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you so much. Thank you for seeing it live. If you haven't seen this before, thank you so much for pepping us up, and thank you for give yourselves a round of applause. And also, I would like to give a round of applause to my friend Ian. Every week, every Thursday on YouTube, him and Luke, they would get together and they would make it so people could watch it. I had no idea. Ian tried to show me one time on how to try to work the back end, and it's very complicated. So he did it every week. He's the best guy ever, and we can't wait to do more shows with you guys next year. We'll probably cut it back to like once a month, and maybe get a little bit more beer oriented. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But yeah, give it up for Ian, guys. Thank you so much.
No, it's a bit awkward because then I feel obliged now to it's been great. No, it has been great. Kappa, we'll do the COVID safe, whatever. But Kappa he's a professional comedian.
I know, I'm not.
I believe
still working in a warehouse.
But yeah, lots of that's nice though, it's Australia. But he's doing gigs around Melbourne, so make sure you go and see his stand-up. It's excellent. And also download Pork Palace, which is still downloadable on the internet if you go to Kappa's website or follow him on. It's like $8. It's less than a beer. So and it's a fantastic hour of stand-up. So please do that. NickKappa.com, I believe. Yeah, he got it before anyone else. He actually had the first modem.
Someone actually put it on Pirate Bay or one of those link sites, so that was kind of like annoying, but also kind of like, yeah, cool. When people are trying to rip it, that's kind of cool. You know?
That's a bit like if somebody.
Please buy it. That'd be great.
It is. It's like if someone in this room has COVID. It's like bad, but good exposure for the.
Hey, don't even do that.
Being together in the Herald Sun would be great. That's it. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
All right, we've guessed the year, hopefully. I don't know, 1964. Way off. Now we're going to guess a beer. So I believe Phil from the Catfish is going to hustle some samples.